Okay, good morning, Good morning, Grizzlies. I realized that probably there wasn't enough content or discussions for you just to discuss 14 quotes for the full class. And so I asked the sub to have you also do the Breaking the Silence reading. And so hopefully you've done that. I just wanted to end class today giving you um, five rules that or guidelines that we're gonna institute for our class to make sure that everyone feels safe discussing these things. And I hope that in your reading of Beverly Tatum's Breaking the Silence that you've been able to find some relatability about some of your fears of discussing race. But just from my experience in taking a lot of these classes and also teaching a lot of these classes, there's a few things that I'm going to say we need to, as a class, follow to make sure we're all safe. So the first one is this idea of we need to trust each other, and we are going to make mistakes. Okay, I know I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm going to say some things that are probably offensive, but it's to get us thinking. Some of you are going to, if you've never really discussed race before, you're going to say some things that you probably shouldn't. Okay. And so the rule needs to be that what is said in this classroom stays in this classroom unless it is for learning purposes. Okay. So if you have a classmate say, I can't believe he said this, that guy, like that, he's crazy, right? That doesn't leave. Okay. But if it's we had this experience and this was said, but we learned this, that's fine. So it's kind of this common one of what's said here stays here. And certainly don't be posting things on social media unless it's a productive thing, not to call anyone out. Okay. Now, the next one, and this is to me the first tool that you can use when having conversations about race. Oftentimes when we're in these conversations, whether it be about anything controversial, we'll say something like, I don't mean to be racist, but, and then we go ahead and say something racist, right? Um, that's not productive, because when we say that I don't mean to be racist, but we put up a wall of, but I don't care what your opinion is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Okay. So a different way to phrase that, of instead of saying I don't mean to be racist, but, and then you say the thing, instead phrase it as this might be racist or this might be problematic, and then say it. Okay. Because if you're going to say something, it's probably because you think it. Okay. And if you think it, then we need to discuss it. Okay. And kind of break it down and see if it is problematic. Right. But by saying, but, you're building a wall. This is my stance. Okay. But if you say this might be racist, you're inviting criticism. You're inviting a question. Okay. So if you really have something that you want to say and it might be problematic, the phrase you're going to use is this might be a problem or this might be racist. Then say it. And I found that for me, because I had and have some things that are problematic that I still think regarding race. So you got to remember my background. I never was around diversity, and so there are certain things that are mixed up in the things that I've learned as a child and as a young adult that I still got to filter, right? Okay. Now, with that, then we're all going to make some mistakes. And I hope that you find that mistakes can help us move. But one of the concerns that I have, especially that I have, but I'm sure that you have, is this fear of being canceled, okay? Of doing something and doing something so bad that it's going to end my career. It's going to end the way people think about me. And something that I'm learning about your generation and just society in general is we need to forgive each other. Okay. Allow for forgiveness and allow people to change their mind. Okay. Just because someone says something the first week of school or the fourth week of school doesn't mean that that's what they're going to believe at the end of the class. Okay. Allow for people to change. Okay. Especially if they're putting that sincere effort in, and then honestly forgive them. Okay. And so, that's the third one. Allow people to change. Now, the next one, and this one will seem strange coming from me, especially if you have had me in my history classes. But When discussing race, I have found that arguing about race and different perspectives for the sake of argument doesn't work. Okay. Arguing for the sake of progress and actually learning from each other does work. And so if you're going to speak your opinion. Okay. Don't argue. And what that means is being like, sometimes I'll hear kids say, well, I don't believe this, but let me play devil's advocate. Okay. Why would you want to be the side by side with the devil? Like, do you know what a devil's advocate is? It's someone who's like siding with the devil. Anyways, that's kind of a joke. But if you are going to make a stance, make it your stance. Don't make a hypothetical stance. Okay. Because those kind of stall conversations if you're arguing something you don't believe. Okay. I, as the instructor, will sometimes make that argument. Okay. But you, as a student, in having these conversations, we need to know and trust that when you are talking, you are sharing your actual opinions and giving sincere effort. Okay. So, this idea of being a devil's advocate and arguing, it may work in other classes. Okay. But with this class, no, we need to trust that you're being sincere. Okay. Now, the final one is this one. Okay. If someone speaks, they are speaking for themselves. Okay. You do not represent your race. Okay. You do not represent your entire group. You represent yourself. Okay. So that means that if one of you who are a student of color says something, you're speaking for yourself. Okay. And when we come out, we can't say, well, this one Latino student said this, so thus all Latino people think. No, that's not the way this works. Okay. You are each individuals and you're each going to individually speak for yourself. You do not speak for your group. Okay. So if we can stick to, from my experience, those 5 kind of rules or guidelines, I think that that's going to help us to feel more safe in this classroom. So, again, sorry I wasn't there today. Hopefully you have enjoyed this reading on King and Breaking the Silence. Remember, you got the homework that you can do on the King bio and then the extra credit on the Breaking the Silence. But with that, we'll see you on Friday. I'm excited for activity we're going to do. And you're wonderful. Love you. Go Utes.